Dale, guess what?
Ray, you sorry about the floor again?
Nope.
Brian Narvate defied physics?
Nuh-uh.
Is Tim Wrighton again?
Getting warmer?
Oh, Al Kindle is secretly a millennial?
No.
Well, I don't know then, what?
So we have a super special guest, and I need to warn you to cover your ears because this might be a bit loud. Ready?
Yeah.
Hi, it's Sarah, your friendly Shuntcaster here, and I just like to say, listen to this damn podcast! We have a Faruq! Hi, Faruq.
What's up? What's happening, everybody? How y'all doing? Thank you for having me, Shuntcast. Appreciate it.
We are so happy to have you. Thank you for coming on our show.
Yeah, we really are.
Absolutely. Truly appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
I hope I didn't deafen you with your intro.
No, I loved it. Thank you very much. Al Kindle is secretly a millennial. That was hilarious.
You know, he is really. Had him on the Shuntcast previously, and we claimed that he can smell a millennial within 100 miles, like a shark can smell blood.
Right. He's just got that. That's his like his spidey sense.
Yes, exactly. Do you lose your voice after 2 weeks of filming Battlebots and doing those amazing intros? Because I'm convinced you do.
After 2 weeks, I mean, probably after 4 days, really. You know, it actually takes a lot of work for me to try to keep my voice, keep it in pristine condition, because it is a lot of vocal stress.
Yeah.
You know, especially after the first season. The first season of Battlebots, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. And I think we only taped, I think, for 3 or 4 days or something. And I think by day 2, my voice was like completely shot to the point where come the finals, where it was like the last 4 fights or so, I the only time I spoke was inside the Battlebots. That was it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So but now I've gotten a handle on it. I've done all types of, you know, I train my voice and prepare my voice and constantly take care of my voice throughout the tapings to ensure that I don't have that same type of outcome.
That's what I was going to ask you, actually. Do you have like a prep routine before you get on stage? Because I used to do amateur dramatics myself, and I currently present a Beetleweight fighting robot show called Battlebots, and the latter we film over a weekend, and I'm not doing anything like the intros you're doing. I'm just sort of interviewing people, and I do a couple of episode intros, and my voice is gone by the end of the weekend, and I'm drinking so much, and I have honey in everything because it's so nice on my throat. And so I was going to ask you for voice tips, like how do you prepare before filming Battlebots and sort of throughout it?
For me, the main ingredient is to definitely warm up the voice before you start anything. So for me, you know, it was a nice drive from Burbank, where I live, to Long Beach, where we're taping. And so, you know, I would say probably halfway through the drive, I'm, you know, on the freeway warming up my voice. And that can be anything from doing vocal exercises to tongue twisters and even just singing along with the radio. Just to kind of warm up the voice, get the vocal cords going, let them know what they're about to do. Because it's like anything else, like you say, you know, if even dramatics, like even like in acting classes or whatever, like I'm theatrically trained. I actually studied in London for 4 months. Yeah, I lived in London for 4 months when I studied.
I grew up in London.
Oh, nice. So yeah, so you have to constantly train your voice and just keep it warmed up. Even like in sports, right? Like you can't just go out and just start playing basketball or baseball or football or world football or American football. You can't just go out and, you can't just go out and just start playing. You have to stretch, you have to warm up to avoid injury. And the same thing with the vocal cords. It's a muscle, so you got to make sure you treat it right.
I think Americans call it soccer, don't they?
Yeah, call it soccer. It's funny. I host a show. One of my friends is Chris. He's British, and we were talking about the difference between football and soccer and why we call it football and blah 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 blah. So that was funny.
What are your favorite bots this season?
You know, it's always so hard to pick a favorite bot. I get that question a lot, and I think, you know, for me, it's like you got different categories, right? All your favorite bots, and you know, whether it's because of the people and the engineers behind the bots, or if it's the way the bot looks, or if it's the bot's weapon, or so many different things that makes them a favorite. I mean, I love them all. I love Tombstone for the devastation.
I love the way you say his name in your. It's just always with you. It's always so deep. It's that Tombstone. Oh, it goes through my spine.
I mean, it does more than go through the spine. Like Tombstone is a deadly bot. Like it's so it has to have that to it. Minotaur. Right. Minotaur for the way it came out and hit the scene. I love Bronco and its flipping power. Like I love one of my favorite bots to introduce because I like to be able to get dark and wicked is Witch Doctor. Yeah. So I have, I love Huge, the way Huge came out, with the technology of the wheels and that plastic that they had on their wheels to take some of the devastation and stuff from these bots. It's just so many to choose from. I love them all, really.
I like Nelly myself.
Yeah, Nelly. Right.
No bias at all. Although I have to say, we have on Shuntposting, we have a Shuntposting dictionary, right? For example, there is the word to apex. If you've ever watched Robot Wars, there was a robot called Apex that had this gigantic horizontal spinner, and it hit its opponent, which had a wedge. And the whole spinner flew off like a helicopter and tore through one of the inner safety barriers. Because on Robot Wars, they have 2 layers of polycarb.
Right.
And so it was pretty scary. So we coined the phrase to apex, which is when a bot essentially self-destructs. This season, we also now have the term Faruqing. And this is because you have been Faruqalicious this season, and I love the term brutalicious. That's been added to the Shuntposting dictionary now as well. But I think my favorite so far is definitely Faruqing, and which now means we have the sentence "that was some serious Faruqing," which the tantrum definitely was.
Yeah. Oh, right. I love. Yeah, the tantrum one was fun. What's very interesting about that tantrum one is like, I think as I was walking into the box, it hit me to do that.
So it was an ad-lib thing.
Like literally, like a lot of these things that I do, like I have no idea where it comes from, and that's why I love Battlebots and Discovery and everybody over there that lets me just do my thing. Ryan, everybody, like it's just so refreshing to be able to have a job where I can just go in and be myself and be as crazy and wacky as I want to be when I don't do that in normal life. So I love that tantrum intro. That's my funny one.
So what sort of stuff are you doing outside of Battlebots at the moment?
Currently at the moment, a lot of what I do, I still do hosting. Like I said, I currently host on an app that is worldwide, available on I guess it's iTunes, where Apple people buy their apps. I don't know. Yeah. I'm an Android guy, so I go to Google Play.
Yeah, me too.
So right. Google Play, the App Store, whatever you got, Apple people do. And it's called Telly, Tellie. It's a platform for just live entertainment and fun, where you can go play games, and we got all kinds of new developing shows coming up. But specifically, the show that I do is called Word Up. It's like a 15-minute quizzing game show where you could download free, play, and win money. So I host that live every Tuesday and Thursday. I also do a lot of voiceovers. I've done some dubbing for some French films and stuff that'll be hitting Netflix soon. I've also done, sorry, that's an email coming through. I've also done some, just a lot of voiceovers and cartoons, animation, commercials. So that's how I stay busy.
You have a very good voice for it. Like I could picture you doing so much stuff. Oh, what's that advert? It was a soft drinks advert, and it had was it Tango? Oh, could you do that, Faruq? Could you say, when you've been tangoed?
Sure. You know when you've been tangoed.
Oh my God, that is so good. Oh my goodness. Okay, so on the Shuntcast every week, so we've been basically reviewing every episode of Battlebots this season with the Shuntcast, and every week we have 3 awards to give out. One is called the John Reed Good Hit of the Night Award, and it's for basically whatever single hit you thought was, particularly spectacular. We also have the Salt Powered Robot Award, which is given to sort of anything controversial or anything that made you salty about the show, like a judge's decision or an underperforming robot, something controversial.
Right.
And then we have the Shunty McShuntpost Award, which goes to whatever is the most memeable. You've racked up a couple of these over the course of the season so far. So what we wanted to do with having you on the show as our special guest is ask you, so far in the season, who would you give these respective awards to? So we'll start with the John Reed Good Hit Award. Can you think of a hit this season that has really stood out to you that you'd like to give that award to?
I think I can't think of anything specific, but I know between Bronco and between what's the other flipper I can't think of.
Hydra.
Yes, Hydra. I think Hydra to me came onto the scene as one of the new flippers, and almost every hit that they've had where they flipped robots anywhere from 10, 12 to 15 feet in the air, those would be
split it in three.
yes. Those were the hits right there that to me would definitely get that award.
Funnily enough, that's actually Hydra splitting Warhawk in three with flips.
Yes.
Was actually I was going to put that forward as my nomination. What was yours, Dale?
I was thinking it'd probably be Deep Six on the test floor, the test box.
Oh yeah.
Oh right.
And even against Nelly, which I didn't like, but it's a good hit.
Dale loves Nelly very much and was very sad to see what happened to her with Deep Six. But I keep reminding him that all of the armor under the plastic is just air and that none of the internal organs got hit. It was just her face that got smashed in.
That's the best part.
But he's still mad at me.
Yeah.
Shunt posters, if you're listening, Faruq would like to give the John Reed Good Hit of the Night Award to Hydra splitting Warhawk in three. So next up is the Salt Powered Robot Award. So can you think of anything controversial, anything that just made you feel salty so far this season?
I can't think of anything specific that made me feel salty this season so far. For me, honestly, if it's when I look at it, sometimes I'm kind of a hard critic on myself. So, I know a lot of the bots, when you go out there and you work hours and tirelessly and incredibly long hours on these robots and you get them in there and they underperform, it's like a thing. For me, when I train my voice and I get in there and I like flub or I scratch or my voice cracks, that to me is when I get a little salty. So probably one of my introductions, I believe there was one where I think I said a word weird and it actually aired, and I'm not sure if anybody caught it, but I did. So I was salty for one of my introductions there.
I mean, you can nominate yourself. It's not against the rules.
So I'm nominating myself inside the battle box with a flub on the word.
Awesome. Okay, and so the final one is the Shunty McShuntpost Award. Dale and I think it's a toss-up between Nelly or the floor, the whole Floorgate thing. Purely because on Shuntposting alone, there are so many Nelly memes. The sheer volume of them, especially after we lost our face twice, is extraordinary. And Floorgate is pretty much the second most popular meme on the group at the moment. So we'll put those forward.
Good.
But is there anything else that you can think of that teams did or a robot did that particularly made you laugh or you thought was kind of memeable?
So when you're talking about Floorgate, you're speaking of like when bots get stuck on the floor and all that kinds of stuff.
Yeah, like Cobalt did and like Nelly did, and how it was a sitting duck for the first hit, and how Cobalt, was owning Duck and then got hung up on the floor and lost because of that and stuff like that.
Right. Is this the memeable one? The memeable category?
Yeah, anything you thought was sort of, really had a lot of character or showmanship.
Yeah, I gotta go to specifically a lot of the fans on Twitter and everything else. When they memed my tantrum introduction. The tantrum introduction, getting the meme was pretty cool to me, so I would have to go with that one.
That's very fair. So,
yeah.
Congratulations, Faruq.
Yeah.
You win Faruq Shunty McShuntpost Award.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, so it's on to the final section of the Shuntcast, which is the member questions.
Yes.
So we posted a Google form onto our group to get the members to anonymously send in questions for us. So we can't guarantee that they are particularly good quality questions. They are what they are.
Hey, I love questions.
Okay, so question 1. What's your favorite intro that you've done so far? Although I think we know the answer to this one.
You know, my favorite intro is one I'm not sure if it's aired yet. And it's only because it is a tribute to my late grandmother. It's something that she used to say, which is she used to say when, you know, she was, you know, if you were doing something that she didn't like and she wanted you to calm down, she would say, "I'll smack the fire out of you." And I used that in one of the intros. I don't think it's aired yet, but it's coming, and I think that's one of my favorite. I would say that's one of my favorite intros because it, you know, is, you know, miss my grandmother very much. She passed away a few years ago, and
I'm sorry.
So that personal connection to that one, well, I would say have to be one of my favorites. There's so many to choose from though, but I like that one. I do like that one.
I think my all-time favorite has to be "Get Inside Your Damn House, Here Comes a Monsoon." I love that one.
Yeah, a lot of people like that one. It's so great to see how the fans react to some of the introductions. You know, some that I think are questionable that people end up loving. Like for instance, like the duck intro with Abe Lincoln.
Yeah.
Like that one I thought was going to like fall kind of flat and sour, but people loved it on Twitter. It was crazy.
I did love because it was you doing the dance as well when you did "I Don't Think You're Ready for This."
Right. Right. Yeah, I love that one too.
Dancing made it as well.
Yeah, I love that one too.
Can I just say though, they actually stole that off me because on my team page, I made that a meme like months before we got onto Battlebots. Dale helped me make it actually. Kudos, thanks Dale. And so although I didn't coin the term brutalicious, I have to give them credit for that. But because you know how my team catchphrase is bonk, I made it bonkalicious.
Oh, gotcha.
They decided to go with brutalicious, which actually, to be fair, I thought was better.
Yeah.
But I wanted you to know that they partially stole that off me.
Well, hey, look, you know, listen, and it's an inspiration, right? You know, so like they say, imitation is the highest form of flattery. So there you go. You should feel very honored.
It's true. I do purely because you did it as well. If it was anybody else, I'd be slightly miffed. But it's my beloved Faruq, so I can't be mad.
Appreciate it.
Question 2.
Yes.
Who is your favorite team to introduce?
One more time, my favorite.
Your favorite team to introduce.
Oh yeah, like I said, I think I mentioned it a little earlier. I gotta go with Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor is one of my favorite ones because I get to do like, you know, spooky, dark types of introductions where I get to, you know, kind of play like evil. You know, I got a couple. That's one of the things that I want to play as a voice actor, right? As a voice actor, I want to be able to play like an evil villain, like even like a, you know, so much as like a Beelzebub or devil. Even I got a couple great voices that I want to do for that. So whenever I get to do the Witch Doctor introductions, I kind of channel that and I get my joys off of that. So Witch Doctor for sure.
I think on that note, you need to give us your best evil laugh.
My best evil laugh coming at you. Okay. I have a couple of them, but here's one.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And then I have another one. Let's see. This one goes like this. A little bit more devious.
Oh my God, that almost sounds like two people are doing it.
Yes. I mean, I probably got a few more in there, but those two are kind of like, I kind of go to those for sure.
I love it. So yeah, next question. What's your favorite food to cook?
My favorite food to cook. You know, I always say my favorite thing to cook is going to be my next thing. I like to dibble and dabble in so many different things. I will say that I recently tried something that was inspired from a friend's Facebook post. She showed a rack of ribs, pork ribs. It was a whole rack, but it was deep fried. And at the time when I saw this post, I didn't have that, but I did recently go to the grocery store and I had some country style pork ribs, which are a lot meatier and a lot thicker. And they're not connected on a rack; they're separate. And so I took those and deep fried them and treated it as if it was chicken. And can I tell you, it was one of the best things I've ever put in my mouth. And not just because I made it; it's just the whole idea of it. Like I never thought to deep fry ribs, and it was amazing. So yeah, so right now one of my favorite things to make is deep fried ribs along with my blue cheese macaroni and cheese.
I have to go for a snobby British moment and go, "God, Americans will deep fry anything, won't they, Dale?"
Yeah.
But I have to admit that does sound amazing.
We deep fry ice cream, butter, all kinds of crazy stuff over here. So look, I'm not mad at you. That's right. We will deep fry anything.
Next question. If you did an intro for Kenny Florian, what would it be?
Oh man, it would have to talk about his dominance in the ring as a former UFC fighter, and not only that, his amazing the amazing analyst that he is on Battlebots. I would just, and it would be epic. You know what? He probably would. Being able to introduce him or Chris would probably be my favorite people to introduce outside of robots.
They need to give you that script for next season. Let you introduce Chris and Kenny. That would be amazing.
That
in
would
the
be
red square.
even if it's just for the live audience, that would be awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah. Next question. Describe your perfect Sunday.
My perfect Sunday?
Yeah.
My perfect Sunday starts out going to church in the morning, followed by I'm going to say that it would be in the later part of the year during the NFL football season, because then I would love to watch. Then I would love to go to a game. It would have to be here in LA. We'd like to see the Eagles take on the Rams, and of course have the Eagles win. And then go out for a nice brunch, nice dinner. Wrap up with some good TV and couch time with my wife, and that sounds like a great Sunday to me.
That sounds awesome.
That sounds pretty good, yeah.
If you entered your own robot into Battlebots, what would it be?
Oh man, I've always imagined this, right? And I've always thought, if I could have a robot that had multiple weapons. Like I would want a robot that probably had a horizontal spinner on the back and a flipper on the front. Because I love the flippers and what they can do as far as launching robots out of the arena, and then I love the devastation of like horizontal spinner like Tombstone. So I would definitely try to incorporate as much as I could both of those weapons, but I do understand that would take a whole lot because the weight. I probably wouldn't meet the weight requirements because I still want a good 50, 60 pound spinning bar.
Yeah.
Problem.
Do you think Nelly the Ellibot did better at Battlebots or in the circus?
I think Nelly the Ellibot did great in the battle. I think she did great in the BattleBots, especially for first time coming up. I can't wait to see her back. Hope she comes back.
Yay!
So do I.
Yes.
This makes me so happy. So a slightly sillier question. How do you keep your beard looking so good?
It's funny. I actually thought about doing a little video because I get a lot of comments about my beard and about how I do it and keeping it sharp and all that. The first step, of course, is just to grow it out. And then, and then I actually kind of do my beard myself. I had a little help this season from the wonderful makeup artist, or our makeup team. But yeah, the key is a straight edge razor. That's the main key, a straight edge razor. That's what I use to get the lines very, very defined, and that's the key.
What's the best part of being the announcer?
The best part about being an announcer, the first thing that comes to my mind is my vantage point, my view, my where I get to sit and watch these robot fights. Is probably one of the best parts about being an announcer. The second thing that comes to mind is just the joy. I think that I didn't recognize that I would bring, not only to the show, but to people who watch the show. I get so many heartfelt messages from people and from families that say, look, you know, this is the only time during the week our family gets together is to sit down and watch Battlebots, or you know, this is the only time. You know, I got a message the other day that said, you know, it was from a parent who said their 2-year-old doesn't really repeat anything except for when it comes time to say it's robot fighting time, or you know what I mean. And that's the only time it repeats. And I understand that, you know what I mean. And it's just little messages like that. And I just completely underestimated or just didn't even think about the type of impact that me being the BattleBox announcer for BattleBots on Discovery would be. And I think that is the most rewarding aspect of it is hearing all the feedback from the amazing BattleBots fans.
I totally get you, because recently BattleBots posted a screen cap of me from just after the Deep Six fight, just as you were announcing the judge's decision, and I had my fingers crossed and stuff, and they posted it to the main page, you know, caption this, and the comments were an absolute dumpster fire, right? They posted it on like Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and yeah, the comments were a total dumpster fire, and like it's times like that when I sort of think, you know, oh, you know, was it worth it? But then, like, on the other hand, on Instagram, I got like a mom send me a video of her like 3-year-old daughter going nearly bonk, nearly bonk, nearly bonk, like watching BattleBots. And I was like, oh man, that's what I'd do it for.
Exactly.
Right, next question. When you do your intros, are you aware that they may and probably will end up as memes?
No, I don't think about that. That's one of the things that's great about it, you know, with social media and everything else and all the advances in technology that we have to be able to do stuff like that. I don't even think about it until it happens. And that's why it's amazing. That's why it's fun. I think that also gives me some freedom to go in there and just kind of be me and do my thing versus trying to become a meme.
There is a Faruq face for everything. On Shuntposting, we have a Faruq folder, right? And there's something like 80 something screen caps in it now. Because there's a Faruq face. We've even got you answering the phone. I mean, having a tantrum, being happy. And I mean, I went to this folder when I made the Numa Faruq video. I went to that folder to get all the various faces for that video.
Yes, and I love that video, by the way. Absolutely loved it.
I had fun making it. I didn't realize how much others would love it. I mean, I sent it to Greg, and the next thing I knew, like Greg's put it on BattleBots, and it was like, I'm quite humble over my memes, really. I say that now. I don't sound modest at all now. Sorry, Dale has your next question.
Which intro have you found the hardest not to laugh at?
Oh, wow. There was one. I'm trying to remember exactly which one it was, but I remember. All I remember is Faruq telling myself, Faruq, if you can get through this, you'll be good. And I remember immediately as soon as I put the mic down and the camera was off me, I just bust out laughing and laughed all the way outside the battle box. You know what? You know which one I feel like it was? I feel like it was. I think it was last season where I did the Bye Felicia.
Oh yes.
Introduction. I think that was one of the ones.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. That's a gift.
The ones that had me laughing. I mean, there are so many that really crack me up after I'm done doing it. Because, like I said, a lot of times I have no idea what I'm going to do, even until I'm actually doing the introduction. So,
the tantrum broke me. I was just in fits.
Yeah, I think that was another one too, because I didn't tell anybody that I was going to do that. I just told the cameraman. I said, look, as soon as I'm done saying the red square thing, and I do the introduction, go wide. I remember telling him to go wide. So yeah, that was funny too.
Are there any robots that you can relate to?
I think, I think one of the robots that hasn't been on the last couple of seasons that I can really relate to, taking it back just a little bit, is like Stinger. Stinger was a robot that I could relate to. Just kind of flying under the radar, underestimated until you go in there and do his thing. And not only that, it's like, it's the confidence level kind of comes out when Stinger is in the battle box. And I feel like that's the same for me. Like, there are plenty of times where I'm driving, I'm wondering if I can even do this job, if I can maintain the same type of intensity or whatever that I brought in previous days or seasons or introductions, and to be able to go in there and feel the spirit of the crowd lift me up and bring my confidence up. I would have to say Stinger is probably one of the ones I kind of personally identify with.
Fair enough.
Next question: did you bring your own suits?
I don't bring my own suits. They have the suit for me. I believe we have like 2 or 3 that we switch back forth out of, and those all from the wonderful costuming department.
We have one final bonus question, because it's a question that we ask on every single Shuntcast, but we realized that it may need a little explaining to you.
Okay.
So as I mentioned earlier, I co-produce and host a beetleweight fighting robots competition called Battlebots. And before the first season came out, this meme thing started called "When Battlebots." It was a play on another meme. It was a sort of a jokey way to harass the producers into getting the season out quicker. And now that we've filmed season 2, but it's not out yet, the "When Battlebots" thing has started again. So as soon as we started doing the questions, "When Battlebots" was submitted to the very first Shuntcast, and it became a thing. When Battlebots gets asked on every Shuntcast. So I have to ask you, Faruq, when Battlebots?
When it's Battlebots time!
Yes!
Oh my god, that's made us so happy.
Was that good?
That was amazing.
Best answer.
Best answer ever. Well, that's the end of the member questions, Faruq, and it's the end of the Shuntcast.
Aww. This is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's great fun being part of the Shuntcast. I really appreciate you guys having me.
Thank you, and thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for coming.
No problem, anytime.
So it's goodbye from Dale.
Bye-bye.
It's goodbye from Faruq.
Peace.
And it's goodbye from the Queen. Goodbye.